Welcome to Just Asia, AHRC TV's weekly human rights program. These are the headlines. Attacks on school in Pakistan. US Ambassador to Bangladesh attack as protests continue. Nepal's parliamentary committee reject Chief Justice nominee. Calls for Indonesian president to address past abuse before 2019 election. Women workers in Kerala win right to sit. Welcome to AHRC TV's Just Asia. I am Amila Sampath. This week Just Asia begins with Pakistan, where 14 schools have been attacked by militants. Last Friday and Saturday saw a school in Diamer district in Gilgit-Baltistan ransacked, torched and destroyed. Most of the schools were for girls. No one was hurt as the buildings were closed at the time of attack. Nobel Peace Prize laureate Malala Yousafzai has called for the rebuilding of the schools. Yousafzai tweeted about the attack, saying extremists have shown what frightened them most, a girl with a book. Yousafzai, 21, was shot and wounded by the Pakistani Taliban in 2012 for promoting girls' education. Human Rights Watch has asked the Pakistani government to join the 80 countries club that has endorsed the Safe School Declaration, a non-binding political agreement. The agreement pledges to restore access to education when schools are attacked and to prosecute those involved in such attacks. Pakistan faces significant education challenges within an estimated 25 million out-of-school children. Incidents of terrorism and militancy have disrupted the education of hundreds of thousands of children, particularly girls. In Bangladesh, an attack occurred on motorcade of the United States Ambassador to Bangladesh. Ambassador Bernicat faced the attack last Saturday night after farewell dinner at the residence of prominent civil society activists. The terrorists also chased the ambassador's vehicle by motorbikes, witnesses told the Asian Human Rights Commission. The attack on Ambassador Bernicat came at a time when armed activists of the ruling party were attacking student protests in Dhaka and elsewhere in Bangladesh. The protesters were demanding justice for the death of their classmate in a road accident on July 29. The students protested peacefully and innovatively in establishing road discipline on the street of Dhaka for 8 days. Tragically, the students experienced brutal attacks by ruling party goons under the police protection. The injured students are being deprived from adequate treatments due to threat to their life. Their academic career is also being threatened. Instead of arresting and filing case against the armed attackers, the police detained numerous students and tortured them in custody. Award-winning photographer Shahidul Alam was arrested and tortured by the detective branch of the police on August 5th. A magistrate put him 7 days police remand, which was stayed by the High Court on Tuesday. The High Court ordered Shahidul to be admitted to hospital for treatment, considering that he was unable to walk and was carried to the court by police officers.
Today's Bangladesh, if we see the situation, it's not only the terrorist attack on the ambassador of United States, it is not only detention of renowned photographer Shahidul Alam, it is not only detention of few students. The actual problem is much bigger than this, what is being seen and what is being talked about. Students of school and college took to the street following road crash death of their peers. They made history in this country by controlling the uncontrollable public transport system, but it is the governmental attitude of unlearning any good lesson from anything because of its authoritarian nature, because of its fascist nature. So that picture requires to be discussed nationally and internationally by all communities, be it the human rights community, the political community, the media professionals community, or the diplomatic community. The situation, how it has evolved and came to this stage, what kind of suppression, censorship on media has brought the country to this level, what kind of denial of freedom of peaceful assembly, freedom of association, freedom of expression and opinion, freedom of press, how all these things have been consistently curtailed for a decade to bring the situation to today's level. And we have very clearly seen that international media journalists, local mainstream media journalists, and also some amateur journalists, freelancers, they have been brutally chopped and beaten with severe critical injuries. And how the health administration, both the public and private sectors, are behaving with these injured victims. How the law enforcement agencies are preventing access to the information about the wounded people and the entire allegation of the casualty, and also the sexual violations and abuses against those who are allegedly the victims at this moment. So when we want to see Bangladesh, we need to have a bigger picture in front of our mind, and then it is just looking at it is not enough. The people now need action, and that action requires everyone's active participation in bringing a practicing effective democracy in place, which is absent under the incumbent government, which doesn't want election in the country, which doesn't want the press to document the present history of this time, and which also doesn't want people to have their say. So in that situation, if we don't want to see something which we cannot control, which we do not expect, then this is time to act and bring change in Bangladesh.
Next, Nepal's Parliamentary Hearing Special Committee has finally rejected the nomination of Acting Chief Justice Deepak Raj Joshi to position of the Chief Justice after numerous meetings. The outcome was decided by a vote, as the committee members representing the opposition Nepali Congress Party were in favor of endorsing the nomination. Deepak Raj Joshi is a controversial figure. Joshi is famous for holding lavish weddings for his children. An investigation indicates that he holds questionable academic certificates. He has given controversial ruling in the past and is unfit to rule Nepal's judiciary. While the parliamentary committee rejection has saved the judiciary in this instance, the process has exposed political influence in the country's judicial institution. It is essential for Nepal's judiciary to remain impartial and independent. It is hoped that any future nomination for Chief Justice position have exemplary record for expertise, independence, honesty, transparency, and accountability. Moving to Indonesia, since President Joko Widodo received victims and family members of past human rights abuses at the Presidential Palace on 31st May 2018, there has been no follow-up. On May 31st, the President promised the victims he would discuss the cases with the Attorney General. In particular, 7 cases of past abuses remain sitting in the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General is reluctant to further investigate and prosecute these cases. Last week's Black Thursday demonstrations in front of the Presidential Palace thus urged the government to implement in promises to address the past abuses. The Black Thursday demonstration also called for the government to cancel the proposal of retired Army General Wiranto on the establishment of Council for National Harmony. The council will seriously undermine Law No. 26, which mandate past right abuses to be tried before the ad hoc human rights court. Victims and family members further demanded that Wiranto be replaced with someone not involved in any past human rights abuses. Wiranto is allegedly involved in the cases of crime against humanity in East Timor during referendum in 1999, as well as the Trisakti and Shemangi students shooting of 1998-1999. Finally, there were calls for President Widodo to immediately address the cases before the 2019 election. In the Indian state of Kerala, women workers collectivized into a group called Penketu and agitated for their right to sit at work, especially in the sari and jewellery showrooms. In 2016, the National Human Rights Commission sent a notification to the Kerala government regarding the abysmal working condition of women at textile shop in the state. With the momentum increasing, the Kerala Cabinet recently passed the amendment to the Kerala Shops and Establishments Act 1960, which includes, amongst other rights, the right to sit. This is a big victory for the activists and workers who have been fighting for their basic rights to privacy and dignity, as they were reportedly even denied the use of washroom while at work. That is all for this episode of Just Asia. For more on these and other issues, please visit www.humanrights.asia or www.ahlrc.asia/justasia. Thank you for watching and see you next week.